The feeling I have after viewing Escape from New York again, a film I first viewed at 14, impressionable and obsessed with power fantasy imaginations, is one of cyclical fulfillment. Some back pain just disappeared. You see, something about Escape from New York resonated a coolness which I found staggering then, and to this day enriching. Perhaps the peak of beautiful, practical VFX laden 1980s world building, dystopian or post apocalyptic, punk adjacent creative audacity. Escape from New York is partially made so magical by its otherworldly, infinitely teasing opening theme music. I might go so far as to say that it is my favourite music composed for film, or at least not composed by Morricone. I know that it has been cited how John Carpenter's prior film, one of his prior films, Halloween, utilised just its iconic theme music and a zoom in on a jack-o'-lantern in order to build a sufficient mood, appropriate and preemptive, for the subsequent terror. I find it actually even more impressive how much mood, mystery, and intrigue is built simply via placing the Escape from New York theme music over a film's opening credits. We know that the film is called Escape from New York, and we wait for the credits to end as this ominous yet undeniably beautiful, minimal electronic soundtrack suggests that the story we shall witness might contain despair, uncertainty, danger, and coldness, and yet also confidence, bravery, love, and hope. I would imagine discovering this film's theme music as some stock library music titled You Make the Best of What You Do. I completely cherish the music for this film, almost more so than the film itself, and I do question the degree to which I would love Escape from New York if it did not feature such a glorious composition, but then I could say the same thing for Psycho, Jaws, Suspiria, or even certain Fassbinder classics, so Carpenter is in good company. The way that the film goes about creating a fictional world via a staged film production is simply remarkable. The conversion of St. Louis, Missouri into an anarchic, lawless Manhattan Island prison is absolutely extraordinary. You would have either thought that this was shot in New York at night, people from New York might tell the difference, I'm not sure, or on an elaborate Hollywood set, but instead this is some of the most imaginative transformation of an environment into a filmic vision I've ever witnessed. It reminds me of Jean-Luc Godard's disguising Paris as Alphaville. I wonder if there is an inspired continuity there. The Liberty Island Security Control headquarters are a phenomenal realization, apparently depicted via several locations. That iconic hallway which they lead Pliskin down, that was filmed within the Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, California. The exteriors of that site were shot at Sepulveda Dam in the San Fernando Valley. Astonishing that the creative geography of this film is so fluid, so unquestioned, and yet it was all a coordinated trick from behind the scenes. Amazing considering how luminous and entrapping that sequence at Liberty Island Security Control is. One really feels as though they are there. It is such an efficiently realized fictional location. It is easy to daydream how claustrophobic and frighteningly mundane it might be to exist at this particular site. Then we have all of the models, the matte paintings, computer imaging, and the costume, quote unquote, and the costume design, plus dazzling proficient cinematography from the once great Dean Cundey, substituting New York and St. Louis, giving the illusion of a security center on Liberty Island that one could have walked around in from one setting to the next, making it appear like it was right next to New York City or taking place on Manhattan Island at all. Only I think 2 shots of this film are actually capturing Manhattan whatsoever. I think one exterior shot of the Liberty Island security control is actually acquired from Liberty Island itself, and I assume one of the helicopter shots, there's a couple of segments in this film featuring helicopters flying over the city, was actually taken over New York, although that could be a placeholder, St. Louis or some city in California. One film I considered this a potential forerunner to in how it utilizes every available VFX tool in order to realize an imaginative vision within a live-action film, and as seamlessly as possible, is 1984's The Terminator. Now, apparently James Cameron did work among this film's VFX team, and at least one article claims that he had an enormous role in realizing this film's visual effects, not merely having a hand, but being the brain itself. I don't want to repeat this article too much verbatim, go give a click to one Philip Sledge at cinemablender.com, but I will outline Cameron's claimed capacity on Escape from New York's production. It is known that Cameron worked on certain of the film's matte paintings and was acting director of photography on some VFX shots. I have read before how the allegedly digital wireframe animations depicting New York City were not at all computer generated, a la Alvy Smith's Genesis sequence in Wrath of Khan. It's a physical model, painted black, white reflexive tape placed on all of the edges, and then filmed in a room under a black light. Cameron has been said in retrospect to have been the genius behind this extremely clever illusion. There's so much I love about this film, to the extent wherein I'm tempted to name it one of my 10 favourite films of all time. I'm not saying whether it is or it isn't, but the fact that this temptation, perhaps uncritical, exists is enough of a compliment to this or any other film that I would say that about. One could go on about Snake Plissken, one of the medium's most iconic protagonists, about Isaac Hayes' The Duke, one of its most memorable antagonists, the nihilism which enchanted and teased so many jaded yet energized adolescents, the general world-building and physically realized imagination on display throughout the runtime, and its overt, undeniable influence on dystopian anti-hero fiction in general. Released the same year as the mighty Mad Max 2, it might be said. I was always mildly concerned as to whether the film's pacing in relation to the day-night cycle is particularly considered. Much of the film takes place on one night. We speed through the events of a day, for the next day, and I'm unsure what time of night, how late it is, when Snake is finally escaping from New York with the President in tow and the Duke in pursuit. Nevertheless, Escape from New York just empowers me. It motivates me to pursue whatever impulse that had me watching and subsequently appreciating it in the first place. It has me feeling an enthusiasm for the joys of life, which might be antithetical to its poppy nihilism, but something about Snake Plissken's audacity, tearing up a professed solution to global war, a proposal for world peace, for no other reason than he doesn't feel as though the world, our species, deserves it. Plissken declares himself the judge because he can, and he doesn't feel as though the established judges are worthy of judging him or anyone else. The world deserves to end, he claims. I mean, if that doesn't make you feel as though, yeah, I can trust my decision making, for better or for worse, I don't know what does. We all know why this film is so beloved. If you're so inclined, do share your own thoughts below, whether you agree with its reverence or not. In any case, have a superb day.